When admiration for billionaires crosses into obsession, it ceases to be inspiration and becomes delusion. Elon Musk embodies this phenomenon, a man hailed as humanity's savior, a genius inventor, a real-life Tony Stark. His companies have built rockets to colonize Mars, electric cars to combat climate change, and a cult-like fan base that once treated his every tweet as gospel. Yet, the cracks in this narrative are now unmistakable. Behind the grandiose claims, viral stunts, and promises of revolution lies a web of exaggerations, contradictions, and, at times, outright deception. This is not just the story of Elon Musk. It's a cautionary tale about what happens when myth overtakes reality and truth becomes optional. Elon Musk's story begins like a science fiction novel. Born in 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa, he was a child consumed by curiosity, tinkering with explosives and devouring books about distant galaxies. He wasn't merely inquisitive, he was obsessed with finding meaning in a chaotic world. As a young boy, he turned to religious texts, philosophy, and science fiction, ultimately finding a guiding ethos in Douglas Adams' The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Stay curious, ask better questions, solve problems. This became the cornerstone of his worldview, a lens through which he sought to understand existence itself. But Musk's childhood was far from idyllic. Raised in a wealthy but dysfunctional family, he endured a violent and emotionally barren upbringing. His father, Elon Musk, was a successful engineer, but a deeply flawed figure, described by some as manipulative and abusive. Elon has recounted being bullied at school and suffering physical and emotional trauma at home.
Until he was beaten up on the playground all the time.
Seriously, as well.
I mean, seriously, beaten up once where they pushed him down the concrete steps and bloodied his face so much his brother said he couldn't recognize him, and he was in the hospital for only almost a week.
He wasn't nurtured, he survived. This crucible of hardship forged a relentless drive, turning pain into productivity. At 12, he coded his first video game, Blastar, and sold it for $500, a glimpse of the ambition that would define him. Musk wasn't just dreaming of empires, he was already building them, fueled by a need to escape his past and find purpose in the vastness of the universe. Musk's journey to North America began with a move to Canada at 17. Facilitated by his Canadian-born mother, May, he enrolled at the University of Pennsylvania, studying physics and economics, but the classroom couldn't contain his restless ambition. Silicon Valley's startup culture beckoned, and Musk dove in headfirst. With his brother Kimball, he founded Zip2, a digital city guide for newspapers. The venture was unglamorous, they lived in their office, showered at the YMCA, and slept under desks, but it paid off. In 1999, Compaq acquired Zip2 for $307 million, netting Musk $22 million at age 28. Rather than resting on his laurels, Musk gambled his fortune on X.com, an online banking platform with a vision to revolutionize finance. The idea was bold but ahead of its time, and Musk's leadership style, erratic, controlling, and ego-driven, alienated his team. Internal conflicts led to a merger with Confinity, forming PayPal, but Musk's tenure as CEO was short-lived. While on vacation, the board ousted him, a betrayal that left him seething. Still, as PayPal's largest shareholder, he walked away with $175 million when eBay acquired the company for $1.5 billion in 2002. This windfall could have been his retirement. Instead, it became his origin story. With his newfound wealth, Musk set his sights on audacious goals. In 2002, he founded SpaceX to make space travel affordable and enable Mars colonization. In 2004, he joined Tesla Motors to accelerate the transition to electric vehicles. Both ventures were high-risk, high-reward bets that nearly bankrupted him. SpaceX's early years were a saga of failure. Musk traveled to Russia to buy decommissioned ICBMs, but the deals collapsed. Undeterred, he decided to build rockets from scratch. The first 3 launches failed spectacularly, depleting SpaceX's funds. Meanwhile, Tesla was bleeding cash, struggling to scale production of its Roadster. By 2008, both companies teetered on the edge of collapse, and Musk's personal life was unraveling. His first marriage was disintegrating, and he described this period as the darkest of his life. Salvation came in the form of government intervention. NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to deliver cargo to the International Space Station, a lifeline that stabilized the company. Tesla secured a $465 million loan from the US Department of Energy, enabling it to develop the Model S. Without these public funds, Musk's empire would have crumbled. Yet these bailouts are rarely mentioned in the narrative of Musk as a self-made genius. Instead, he leveraged this support to craft a mythic persona, a visionary prophet of progress, destined to save humanity. Musk's ability to sell a vision is unmatched. He didn't just run companies, he positioned himself as a harbinger of the future. SpaceX promised to colonize Mars. Tesla aimed to eliminate fossil fuels. Neuralink sought to merge human minds with machines. The media ate it up, dubbing him a real-life Tony Stark. Investors poured billions into his ventures. Fans worshipped him, hanging on his every word. Musk became a brand, a symbol of limitless possibility in a world craving heroes. But with fame came scrutiny. In 2018, Musk inserted himself into the Thai cave rescue, offering a kid-sized submarine to save trapped children. Rescuers deemed it impractical, and one diver called it a PR stunt. Musk's response was shocking. He labeled the diver a pedo guy on Twitter, sparking a defamation lawsuit. Though he won the case, it exposed a troubling side, a thin-skinned egotist who lashed out when challenged. His behavior grew more erratic. He smoked weed on Joe Rogan's podcast, triggering a drop in Tesla's stock and SEC scrutiny. He tweeted impulsively, inflating Tesla's stock price with claims of taking the company private, leading to a $40 million SEC fine. Tesla itself struggled, burning cash for years before achieving consistent profitability. Musk's acquisition of Twitter, now X, in 2022 for $44 billion marked a turning point. He framed it as a crusade for free speech, firing most of the staff, reinstating banned accounts, and promising a platform free of censorship. But the reality was messier. Critics were silenced, journalists were banned, and algorithms reportedly boosted Musk's own posts. His politics shifted dramatically. Once a self-described centrist, he embraced far-right culture wars, railing against woke ideology, mocking pronouns, and aligning with controversial figures. His fanbase remained loyal, but the broader public began to question his motives. The tipping point came in 2025, during a rally celebrating Donald Trump's re-election. Musk raised his hand in a gesture many interpreted as a Nazi salute. Defenders called it a misunderstanding, but the backlash was swift. Even allies like Joe Rogan struggled to defend him. The incident crystallized a growing unease. Musk's actions often contradicted his lofty rhetoric. He championed American workers while supporting H-1B visas. He preached free speech while suppressing dissent on his platform. He promised self-driving cars by 2020, yet the technology remains incomplete. The Tesla Cybertruck, hyped for years, faced repeated delays. Claims of being a top Diablo 2 player were debunked as boosted accounts. At every turn, the hype outstripped reality. Musk's companies are undeniably innovative. SpaceX slashed launch costs, making space more accessible. Tesla mainstreamed electric vehicles, forcing competitors to adapt. But these achievements were built on public funds, media manipulation, and a fan base blind to red flags. Today, Tesla's stock has faltered, X's ad revenue has plummeted, and Musk's approval ratings are in decline. Yet, his influence endures. Why? Because the myth of Elon Musk is bigger than the man himself. It's the story of a lone genius saving humanity, a narrative so seductive it obscures the truth.